Part 1. A New Beginning. Hi, this is Elena, your English teacher from Bookish 24/7. Before we start, share why you're learning English in the comments. Let's build our community. My name is Luca, and I'm from Italy. I moved to London to study English. The city was huge with red buses and rainy skies. I felt both eager and scared. At the airport, I grabbed my bags and took a train to my new home. My roommate Sam greeted me. He's from Turkey and also learning English. We smiled, using simple words to chat. The next morning, I walked to language school. Streets buzzed with people. I passed shops, cafes, and a busy market. The school was small but welcoming. My teacher, Mr. Brown, started class. Students came from everywhere. Yuna from Korea, Carlos from Argentina, and Aisha from Nigeria. We introduced ourselves slowly, laughing at mistakes. Mr. Brown said, "Practice daily. Don't fear errors. They help you learn." We paired up to talk about hobbies. Yuna loves dancing. Carlos enjoys football. I shared my love for cooking. Part 2. Exploring and learning after class. Sam and I visited a park. We fed ducks and practiced English. "The weather is, windy?" Sam said. I nodded. "Yes, very windy." We found a part-time job at a pizza shop. The owner, Mrs. Lee, taught us phrases. "Order ready," or "enjoy your meal." Customers smiled at our efforts. At school, Mr. Brown played British songs. We wrote missing lyrics. It was tricky but fun. We read menus, ads, and short stories. I struggled but kept trying. Weekends were for adventures. We saw Big Ben and Tower Bridge. At museums, I read signs aloud. Sam corrected my pronunciation. "His toric," he said slowly. I repeated, "historic." Part 3. Growing Confidence. One day, Mrs. Lee asked me to handle the counter alone. My hands shook, but I managed. "2 pizzas, please," a customer said. I nodded. "Coming soon." In class, we wrote about our hometowns. I described Naples, its colorful streets and pizza. Mr. Brown said, "Great details, Luca." I beamed with pride. We hosted a dinner for classmates. I cooked pasta. Yuna made kimchi pancakes. We shared stories, mixing English with gestures. Everyone understood, laughing together. Part 4. Looking ahead. Months passed. I chatted easily with customers. Sam started a blog in English. We watched films without subtitles, catching jokes we'd missed before. Mr. Brown announced a project, "Present a tradition from your country." I chose Italian festivals, showing photos of confetti and costumes. Classmates clapped, asking questions. London felt like home now. Learning English opened doors to friends, jobs, and new confidence. Every challenge became a step forward. I knew more adventures waited, and I was ready. Chapter 2. Luca's days settled into a rhythm. Mornings were for school, afternoons for work, and evenings for exploring. His English improved slowly, like a plant growing under London's gray sky. One day, Mr. Brown taught food vocabulary. "Let's play a game," he said. Students drew pictures of meals. Luca drew spaghetti. Yuna drew sushi. Carlos drew empanadas. They guessed each dish, laughing when someone mixed up sushi and salsa. At the pizza shop, Mrs. Lee trusted Luca with more tasks. "Wrap the boxes," she said. "Smile at customers." Luca repeated phrases like, "Hot pizza, careful." Regular customers praised him. "Your English is better," an old man said. Luca grinned, proud. Weekends brought new adventures. Sam and Luca visited Camden Market. Stalls sold clothes, jewelry, and strange foods. A vendor offered them bubble tea. Luca sipped the sweet drink, surprised by the chewy balls inside. "Interesting," Sam said, making a funny face. They explored the British Museum next. Huge statues and ancient artifacts filled the halls. Luca read signs aloud. Egypt, mummy, pyramid. Sam helped with hard words. "That's a sarcophagus," he said, pointing. Luca repeated, "Sarcophagus," giggling at the sound. Back at school, Mr. Brown assigned a project. "Write about a special day in your life," he said. Luca chose his grandmother's birthday in Naples. He described the loud family dinners, the lemon cake, the singing. "Simple words," Mr. Brown advised. Luca wrote, "We laugh, we eat, we love." The class shared stories. Yuna talked about a snow festival in Korea. Carlos described a football victory. Aisha explained Nigerian dancing. Luca listened, learning new words like tradition and celebrate. Work grew busier. One rainy evening, the shop filled with customers. Luca mixed up orders, giving pepperoni to a veggie pizza lover. Sorry, he said, face red. Mrs. Lee patted his shoulder. "Mistakes happen. Fix it, learn." Luca remade the pizza, breathing deeply. Sam noticed Luca's stress. "Let's relax," he said. They bought ice cream and sat by the Thames. Boats glided on the water. "English is hard," Luca sighed. "But look how far you are," Sam said. "First day, you said hello. Now you talk." Luca smiled, feeling better. At school, Mr. Brown introduced role plays. Students acted out shopping, asking directions, ordering food. Luca played a waiter. "What do you want?" he asked Yuna. Pizza with pineapple," she joked. The class laughed. "Pineapple? Never!" Luca cried, pretending to be shocked. Time flew. Luca's notebook filled with words. He learned umbrella during rain, sunset at the park, rush in crowded streets. Sam taught him Turkish phrases. Luca taught Sam Italian. They mixed languages, creating silly sentences. Mrs. Lee let Luca make a special pizza. "Your choice," she said. He picked tomato, mozzarella, and basil, like Napoli. Customers loved it. "Tastes like Italy," one said. Luca's heart swelled. One evening, the language school hosted a party. Students brought dishes from home. Luca made bruschetta. Yuna brought kimchi. Carlos shared dulce de leche. They ate, danced, and tried describing flavors. Spicy, sweet, crunchy. The room buzzed with joy and broken English. Walking home, Luca realized he felt happy. London wasn't just big and noisy anymore. It was markets, friends, and slow progress. He still made mistakes, but now he knew. Every error was a step forward. Luca texted his family, "London is good. I learn. I work. I miss you." His mother replied, "We're proud." He fell asleep dreaming of Naples' sun and London's rain, feeling at home in both. Chapter 3. Winter arrived. London turned cold, but Luca's days stayed warm with routine. School, work, friends. Each day added new words to his growing English world. Mr. Brown taught holiday vocabulary. Snowman, scarf, fireplace. Students shared winter traditions. Luca explained Christmas Eve fish feasts. Una described making rice cakes. Carlos talked about beach parties in Argentina. The pizza shop hung fairy lights. Mrs. Lee gave Luca a Santa hat. "Wear it. Spread cheer." He blushed, but obeyed. Customers laughed, taking selfies with him. "Merry Christmas," he practiced saying. Sam dragged Luca to an ice rink. "I'll fall," Luca worried. Sam wobbled on skates, clinging to the rail. They slid like penguins, crashing often. "This is terrible," Sam shouted, laughing. A kind teen taught them to glide slowly. By the end, they moved without falling. Progress. On Christmas, the roommates cooked together. Sam attempted Turkish kebabs. Luca made pasta. They invited classmates. Una brought cookies shaped like stars. Carlos brought spicy hot chocolate. They exchanged small gifts, a notebook for Luca, a scarf for Sam. Luca called his family. "Buon Natale," he said. They crowded the screen, talking over each other. His little sister held up a drawing of Luca riding a London bus. "Grazie," he whispered, homesick but happy. New Year's Eve came. The city glowed with fireworks. Sam and Luca joined crowds by the river. People counted down. 10, 9, 8. Luca shouted with them, heart pounding. "Happy New Year," strangers hugged. Sam hugged Luca. "To more English," he said. Luca laughed. "And less mistakes." School started again. Mr. Brown announced a spelling contest. Luca practiced daily, quizzing Sam. "Weather, Weather? "No, a before E," Sam corrected. Luca groaned but kept trying. At work, Mrs. Lee trusted Luca with the cash register. He counted coins carefully. £10, please." "Keep the change." A lady smiled. Luca saved extra money for a trip, maybe Scotland someday. One afternoon, an elderly customer struggled to order. "I want, flatbread with," Luca guessed. "Margarita pizza?" The man nodded, relieved. "Yes, thank you." Luca realized he'd helped someone. It felt good. Spring arrived. The city bloomed. Luca's English bloomed too. He still forgot words, but now he could explain. "It's like a big oven for pizza." Gestures and creativity filled gaps. Mr. Brown said, "You've all grown. Be proud." Luca was. He'd arrived knowing hello. Now he could share stories, jokes, even arguments. Not perfect, but his. Sam's blog gained readers. He wrote about life in London, a Turkish view of England. Luca proofread, fixing errors. "You're a teacher now," Sam joked. Luca's dream expanded. Maybe a restaurant job in Italy, using English with tourists. Maybe more travels. For now, he cherished London's lessons, in language, in life. Every day was a new page, and he was ready to write it. Chapter 4. Spring warmed London. Flowers pushed through cracks in sidewalks. Luca felt lighter, like his English words finally fit better in his mouth. Mr. Brown announced a speaking test. "Talk about a hobby for 2 minutes," he said. Luca's hands sweated. He chose cooking. At home, he practiced in the mirror. "I chop onions, fry garlic, add tomatoes." Sam clapped. "Perfect." Test day arrived. Luca stood shaking. He talked about pasta sauces, gesturing like stirring a pot. "Grandma taught me. Sauce must, sing." The class laughed kindly. Mr. Brown smiled. "Great job, clear and fun." Luca's chest glowed. Work got busier. Tourists flocked to the pizza shop. One man asked, "What's good here?" Luca froze, then pointed. "Margarita. Classic. Like Italy's flag." The man ordered it. Mrs. Lee winked. "You're a pro now." Sam dragged Luca to a street festival. Music blasted. Food trucks sold curry, crepes, dumplings. A band played pop songs. "Dance!" Sam yelled. Luca shook his hips, shouting lyrics he half knew. "I'm on fire," he sang wrong. Sam snorted soda out his nose. They met Aisha at a henna tattoo stall. "Choose a design," the artist said. Luca picked a sun. "For Napoli's warmth," he said. Aisha chose waves. "For Nigeria's rivers." The ink dried itchy, but they loved it. School focused on future plans. Mr. Brown asked, "What will you do after English?" Una wanted hotel work. Carlos dreamed of soccer coaching. Luca wrote, "Cook in a bilingual cafe." Sam teased, "Free pizza for me?" One rainy afternoon, an old woman entered the pizza shop. She spoke fast, worried. Luca caught lost and phone dead. He calmed her. "Sit. Drink?" He drew a map to her hotel using words like left, bridge, blue door. She hugged him. "Kind boy, thank you." Mr. Brown taught slang. Chill means relax. Mate means friend. The class giggled. "Sam is my mate," Luca said. "We chill, eating ice cream." Una joked, "Slang is cool." Carlos shouted, "I'm chill, mate." They laughed till their cheeks hurt. At home, Luca and Sam binge-watched a cooking show. The host yelled, "Blend! Sizzle! Taste!" Luca repeated phrases. "I'll make that," he said, pointing at mushroom risotto. Sam groaned. "No weird food, just pizza." Mrs. Lee surprised Luca with a raise. "You earn this," she said. He bought a red jacket, feeling grown up. At school, Una said, "Fashion star." Luca blushed. "Just warm." A school trip took them to a farm. Cows mooed, sheep baaed. Luca fed carrots to a goat. "Careful, he bites," the farmer warned. The goat nibbled Luca's sleeve. "Hungry guy," Luca said. The class took silly photos, posing with chickens. Back in the city, Luca saw a help wanted sign at a coffee shop. He applied, nervous. The manager asked, "Experience?" Luca said, "Pizza shop." I learned quick. She gave him a trial shift. He spilled milk, forgot orders, but smiled hard. "Come back tomorrow," she said. Sam celebrated with Luca. They ate cheap burgers. 2 jobs! Big man, Sam said. Luca shrugged. More English, more money. He missed free time, but liked feeling capable. At the coffee shop, Luca met regulars. A student named Grace drew in a notebook. "What's that?" he asked. "Fashion designs," she said. Luca showed her his henna sun. "Beautiful. I'll draw it," she said. They became friends, chatting about art and espresso. Mr. Brown assigned group stories. Luca's team wrote The Pizza Hero. They acted it out, a chef saving London with spicy sauce. Carlos played a villain, yelling, "Too much pepper." The class cheered. Luca's mom video called. "You look tired," she fretted. "But happy," he said. She cried, "My English son." He promised, "Home soon, I'll cook." Summer neared. London buzzed with sunlight and tourists. Luca juggled school, 2 jobs, and friends. His notebook overflowed. Recipes, slang, reminders. Buy milk. Call Sam's mom. Practice the sounds. One night, walking home, Luca passed the Thames. The water glittered. He whispered Mr. Brown's phrase, "Every day, a new word. Every word, a new world." He missed Italy, but loved his London life. Mistakes still came, but so did victories. He was learning, not just English, but how to belong. Chapter 5. Winter stayed cold, but Luca's English grew warmer. He practiced words like scarf, gloves, and snowflake. Mr. Brown taught weather phrases. "It's freezing." "Bundle up," the class repeated, stomping feet like marching soldiers. Mrs. Lee hung holiday lights in the pizza shop. "Make it cozy," she said. Luca wrapped tinsel around chairs. Customers smiled. "Festive," they said. A little girl gave Luca a candy cane. "Merry Christmas," she shouted. He thanked her, learning candy cane and generous. Sam bought a tiny tree for their apartment. They decorated it with paper stars. "Like Napoli?" Sam asked. Luca nodded. "But smaller." They played Italian holiday songs, humming tunes their families loved. School closed for break. Luca missed classes but enjoyed work. Tourists came for Christmas pizza. Mrs. Lee added cranberry sauce as a joke. "Try it," she urged. Luca made a face. "Not Italian." Customers laughed, taking photos. New Year's Eve arrived. Sam and Luca joined crowds near Big Ben. People cheered, counting down. 3, 2, 1. Fireworks exploded. Strangers hugged. "Happy New Year," Luca yelled. Sam hugged him. "To less mistakes," Luca laughed. "And more pizza." January brought ice. Streets turned slippery. Luca fell twice, dropping pizza boxes. "Careful," Mrs. Lee scolded, but her eyes twinkled. He learned black ice and balance. Mr. Brown started grammar lessons. Past tense, walked, talked, cooked. Luca wrote sentences. "I walked to school." Sam talked too fast. Grandma cooked pasta. It felt like magic, changing words to tell stories. At work, a customer asked, "What's your favorite pizza?" Luca paused. "Margarita, simple, perfect." The man nodded. "Like life." They became friends. His name was Tom, a painter. He showed Luca photos of his art. Colorful blobs Luca didn't understand but praised anyway. Sam dragged Luca to a library. "Free books," he said. Luca found a cookbook with pictures. "Easy English," he cheered. He borrowed it, reading recipes aloud at home. "Mix, flour, yeast, water." Sam groaned. "Stop, I'm hungry." Valentine's Day came. The pizza shop sold heart-shaped pies. Luca cut pepperoni into hearts. Couples giggled, feeding each other. "Romantic," Mrs. Lee sighed. Luca rolled his eyes but smiled. School projects got harder. Luca wrote about Italian festivals. He used words like music, dance, family. Mr. Brown said, "More details." Luca added, "Smells of lemon cakes, sounds of laughing cousins." The class clapped. One night, Luca's phone rang. His sister's face filled the screen. "I miss you," she said. He taught her English words. "Pizza, snow, brother," she repeated, giggling. "Good?" she asked. "Perfect," he said, heart aching. March blew in, windy. Mr. Brown taught nature words. Blossom, breeze, puddle. The class walked in a park, pointing. "Look, buds on trees." Luca tripped in a puddle. Wet socks, but everyone laughed. Mrs. Lee let Luca create a new pizza. He chose spinach and ricotta. "Green pizza," customers joked. But they ate it all. "Success," Mrs. Lee said. Luca added spinach to his mental dictionary. Sam got sick. Luca made soup, remembering his mother's recipe. Chicken, carrots, noodles. Sam sniffled. Tastes like home. Luca learned recover and sneeze. At school, students performed short plays. Luca's group did The Hungry Tourist. He played a lost man craving pizza. "Where is Napoli?" he shouted dramatically. The class howled. Mr. Brown cried, "Oscar winner!" Rainy days made deliveries tricky. Luca's shoes squelched. "Wet, wet, wet," he muttered. A customer gave him a towel. "Dry off," she said. He learned soggy and kindness. Spring teased London. Sunshine peeked through clouds. Luca bought sunglasses. "Cool," Sam teased. They sat in the park, watching ducks. "London's not so bad," Luca said. Sam grinned. "Told you." Luca's parents sent a package. Olive oil, pasta, a note. "We proud, learn, eat, love." He hung the note on his wall. Some nights he stared at it, whispering, "I'm trying." Work, school, friends. Luca's life felt full. His English tangled sometimes, but he untangled it slowly. Mistakes became lessons. Words became bridges. London became home. Chapter 6. Summer arrived, hot and bright. Luca traded his jacket for sunglasses. London's parks turned green, and ice cream trucks played jingles. "Melting weather," Sam complained, fanning himself with a menu. Mr. Brown taught summer words: sweat, shade, lemonade. The class groaned, sticky in their seats. "Too hot for verbs," Carlos joked. Mr. Brown laughed. "Then swim in vocabulary." The pizza shop sold cold drinks and salads. "Healthy?" Luca teased Mrs. Lee. She shrugged. Tourists want it. Luca learned refreshing and hydrate. He missed cheesy pizzas but liked the break from ovens. Sam dragged Luca to a rooftop pool. We deserve fun! Water sparkled under the sun. Luca hesitated. I can't swim! Sam pushed him in. Luca splashed, screaming. A lifeguard taught him to float. Like pizza dough, Luca joked, bobbing on his back. School organized a picnic. Students brought snacks. Yuna's seaweed chips, Carlos's churros, Luca's bruschetta. They ate under trees, sharing words. Crunchy, sweet, garlicky. Bees buzzed, stealing crumbs. Work grew hectic. A film crew ordered pizzas for 50 people. Luca stacked boxes, counting aloud. 10, 20, 30. His shirt stuck to his back. The director tipped him extra. Hero of hunger! Luca pocketed the cash, grinning. One afternoon, a lost child wandered into the shop. Mama, she whimpered. Luca crouched. Name? Lucy? He called the police, using phrases Mr. Brown taught. Lost girl, red dress, curly hair. Officers came. Lucy's mother cried, hugging Luca. Thank you, thank you. He added hero to his pride list. Sam's blog went viral. London through foreign eyes, a newspaper wrote. Reporters interviewed him. Stay humble, Luca teased. Sam bought fancy coffee. For my agent, he joked, handing Luca a cup. Mr. Brown assigned summer diaries. Luca wrote about rooftop swimming, lost girls, and garlic breath. Use senses, Mr. Brown said. Luca added, chlorine smells like clean danger. The class clapped. Tourists asked Luca for directions. Tower Bridge, that way. He pointed, proud. One couple invited him for coffee. Practice English, they said. Luca ordered cappuccinos, explaining, Italian word. Mrs. Lee let Luca train new workers. Show Ali the dough toss, she said. Luca demonstrated, spinning crusts. Ali stared. Magic! Luca shrugged. Practice. He liked feeling skilled. A heat wave hit. The shop's AC broke. Luca fanned himself with pizza boxes. Customers dripped sweat onto menus. Global warming, Sam muttered, eating ice cubes. Rain finally came. Cool drops splashed hot streets. Luca danced outside, arms wide. Free shower! Sam clicked photos. Crazy Italian. He laughed. School ended for summer. Mr. Brown hugged students. Keep learning. Luca felt sad but ready. He'd return in autumn, stronger. Sam planned a trip to Brighton. Beach time. Luca packed sunscreen and dictionaries. The train rattled south. Sea air blew through windows. Salty! Luca coughed. They ate fish and chips on the pier. Seagulls stole Carlos's fries. Thieves! He yelled. Luca snapped photos, texting home. Ocean bigger than Napoli's bay. Back in London, Luca got a letter. His sister drew him speaking English to Big Ben. Proud of you, she wrote. He stuck it beside his parents' note. Nights grew longer. Luca sat on his balcony, reviewing words. Summer, swim, hero, family. Fireworks boomed somewhere. He whispered, I'm here. I'm learning. London's lights twinkled below. Mistakes still came, but Luca smiled. Every wrong word was a step. Every step was a story. He fell asleep dreaming in 2 languages, ready for tomorrow.